Today what I want to share with you guys is how much money I made in my very first full month of being an Airbnb host. Because if you guys are out there and you're thinking about becoming an Airbnb host, and this is one way that you can invest in real estate for your long-term wealth, but if you're thinking about becoming an Airbnb host, this is probably going to be pretty interesting to you. It's probably going to shock you how much I made in just one single month with one property. My first month being an Airbnb host, because it definitely surprised me. Before this, we had only done long-term rentals, and I was very tuned in. I had basically all my systems on all cylinders with that, with rent collection, with having tenants, very low vacancy rates. Everything was doing well. But we decided to go into short-term rentals for the much higher monthly rates that you can get and daily rates that you can get for your Airbnb rentals. So we went out and we purchased a 1,200 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, with one of those bedrooms actually being a loft bedroom, but it was a very unique cabin. It's a real log cabin. It has indoor and outdoor wood fireplaces, which are very hard to find anymore in the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area, because most people have converted those to gas. And actually the push is now to convert from gas to electric. But I really like the wood burning fireplace, and I know that there is a contingent of people out there that will pick that simply because of the wood burning fireplace. Now, we spent $525,000 to acquire this property using a 10% down loan, and then we probably put another $10,000 to $12,000 into it in new appliances, some water heaters, just things to make it future-proof so that we're not getting bombarded and making guests inconvenient with having service calls for things that are wearing out, etc. Now, our plan originally was that we were going to try to get about $5,000 a month from these short-term rentals, and that was kind of where we just drew our go, no-go amount when we took into consideration what it would cost to finance a $500,000 cabin, our profit splits between me and my business partner, who is my father, and we can get more into business partner strategies for this type of real estate if you guys would like to see something like that, because setting up a partnership is not necessarily a hard thing, but it is something that you want to spell out so that there are no loose ends, gray areas, or hard feelings. What we were looking for was $5,000 a month. That would cover all of our operating costs that we could relatively easily foresee. That would allow us to take our profit splits that we were hoping to get out of this investment and leave a little bit of money left over for rainy day funds or capital improvements, whatever we needed. And we figured that we could probably get somewhere between $5,000 to $7,000 a month in rent for this 1,200 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bath cabin in the mountains. Now, to not drag out the thing any longer, the actual number, the gross income number that we got from this cabin for the month of July, which is a truly hot month in the Smokies, not only just hot because it's hot and humid because it's in the south, and even though you're in the mountains, it doesn't really get much cooler because it gets hot there. But it's also hot because it is, very highly traveled month. May, June, July, very, very good months to be in the short-term rental market down there. And we made $11,381.56 in our very first full month being Airbnb host with this property. And if that number doesn't shock you for a 1,200 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bath cabin, then I don't know what will, because it absolutely shocked me. We knew that we were doing well when the numbers started rolling in, but it wasn't until we got here into QuickBooks that I started putting together the numbers so that we could figure out what our monthly payouts were, that I was like, oh my God, not only did we crack 10,000, but we are at 11,381. And those gross numbers right off the top there don't tell the full story about what our net profit is. And what I really want to do is dive into this QuickBooks report for our profit and loss for that month, so that you can see what the actual bottom line number is for after we've paid all of our expenses, and where those where that $11,381 ended up going at the end of the day, so that you can see in the Gatlinburg market what you could get as far as a short-term rental in the peak months. Okay, so we got the screen record going on right now, and I'm just going to walk you through the numbers, walk you through the expenses, and some of the things that are not on this expense report because they weren't expenses that we had during this month because of special circumstances. So as you can see on our top line number, we have $11,381.56. That was our gross profit, and it's very easily, it says that right there on the screen, you can see it. Now into the expenses is where you start getting into the where did the money go type of thing. And our biggest expense for this month for this cabin was cleaning expenses. That was $990 for various cleaning expenses, pet cleaning expenses. Even though people aren't supposed to bring their pets, they bring their pets anyway. And while we don't dock them for that as long as they don't have any actual damages, our cleaner does take a higher rate for that, and that's extremely reasonable because it takes them longer to clean. Now, some people might say, well, then that doesn't go towards your gross income. That's just something that passes through. But the thing is that we will be taxed on that as income. We are taxed on it. Sevier County taxes on it. Tennessee taxes us on it. The federal government will tax us on it, but then we get to take the actual cleaning expense as a deduction, and that is $990 of that, $11,000 or so. We have $35 in pest control. That is a monthly thing that you almost have to do because these cabins are in the woods, and if you don't deal with that, then they get bugs and stuff in them, and people don't like that at all. $60 for lawn care, pretty self-explanatory. Computer and internet expenses, I believe that is our the platform that we use to manage our 2 listings. Smart B&B is what it used to be called. It's now called Hospitable. I highly recommend that program, by the way, if you're looking to get into this, looking to list on Airbnb and VRBO. And that program ends up syncing those calendars, making sure that you don't get double bookings. It changes the pricings and your minimum day stay. It's been a great program so far with a great user interface, and I just highly recommend it. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but it just worked out well for me. Professional fees of $15. These are the folks that end up paying our taxes because we do have to remit a small tax that we cannot get from the guests in Sevier County. And so that is what that is for. And then we had utilities of $279.76. That doesn't paint the full picture of utilities, and I'm going to explain what that is because now you can see that we are, after all those expenses, we are down to $9,976.80, and that would be our net income if we didn't look at some of these other expenses. Now, since this is our first month, we had closed on the loan in June 1st, and so we did not owe any mortgage payments until September 1st. So there is no mortgage payment being taken out of this, and that is about $2,200, with about $1,200 of that or $1,100 of that being an interest expense. And then that utility amount, that is only the cable bill for the first bill. So that's going to have all your installation fees, all the extra BS fees that they tag on there. But you have to pay if you want cable internet, cable television, whatever. So we also have gotten bills for our electricity and water, and those combined in the summer months are about $300. So if you take that with the $2,200 a month mortgage payment, you're at about $2,500 of expenses that were not captured in here because this was a one-off circumstance where those bills were coming later down the pike. So if you take that $2,500 off of the $9,976, you're still left with about almost $7,500 of net income that this place would have generated for the month of July only. And what we do as far as our little business with our business partners is we take the gross income and we take 15% of it each. And so when you look at this, I don't remember exactly what the exact number that we wrote checks to each other for, but it was about $1,600 that we individually took out of the business as our paycheck. The way that your partnership works, or if you don't have a partnership, if you can just do these all by yourself, you can come up with whatever payout structure you have, which is why I said that the gross number doesn't necessarily tell the full picture, but when you're comparing income, it's hard for people to compare the net income or what they personally take out of it because that changes for whoever it is that manages the property. For example, if you got this property 5 years ago when it was $200,000 less expensive to buy, obviously your net income number would be higher even though your gross rental income would be the same. So like every other YouTuber says when they're talking about how much money they make in any given thing on YouTube and real estate or whatever, this is absolutely not meant to brag or to flex or to say how much money I have or whatever. What it is so that you can see what you could do if you invested in a similar investment in a similar marketplace, because it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to get into one of these things. You're talking about $500,000 in order to get into the basic 2-bedroom, 2-bath place down in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and for you to be able to get some idea of what that could draw, what income that could produce, I think is very valuable to people. I think it's also very valuable to note that I am not wealthy. I go to work every day. I work a blue-collar job. I don't come from money. I didn't have a trust fund that I used to fund these or anything like that. I simply saved and invested my money and invested in real estate and have sold those as they have gone up in value, bought new ones, and just kind of moved up the property ladder, so to speak. This is what the average person can achieve if you put your mind to it, if you are willing to take those risks. And I hope that this has helped any of you out there who are on the fence and who are wondering what kind of return they can make off of this sort of investment. If you are looking to get into Airbnb or VRBO, I will leave a link to my host code referral code thing, where if you want to sign up and use that link, I will get some money, you will get some money when you get your first booking, and everyone can make a little bit more money off of this short-term rental thing. Guys, if you like this video, if it gave you some value, be sure to hit that thumbs up button for me. That actually really helps out in the YouTube algorithm so that other folks can see this video and get this information. So be sure to subscribe, guys, to grow your wealth, increase your success, put you on the road to financial freedom. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.